How's it going, guys? So we're back at it with the Tiermaker, but this time around I will be going ahead with the Rockstar games. Now, obviously, they had a lot of games that they had been, pumping out more or less. Now, I do want to mention one thing as well. A lot of these games I simply had not played, or in fact, I was just simply not interested. So, here's the category. My favorites are going to be on top, perfect is the second one, great is going to be the third, fourth is the good category, okay, then average, simply awful, and then I simply did not play. Now, as we can see here, I'm gonna start from the end, then we'll continue on and forwards and so on. Now, Grand Theft Auto. Now, I presume that this is Grand Theft Auto 1 because I remember there was like some kind of Grand Theft Auto Classic or whatever that was named. So I presume this is Grand Theft Auto 1. The very first one was on PlayStation 1 as well. I did not exactly play. I didn't finish it, like that's for certainty, but I had the time with it. I can definitely tell you I didn't like. I'm not gonna put it here because I had to go with it definitely. I actually played Grand Theft Auto 2 more than Grand Theft Auto 1, and that time, Jesus, it was a long time ago. Now, obviously, because it was so long ago, I cannot remember a lot because of it as well. I'm not gonna put it as a perfect, great, or good. Maybe I'll just put it okay, maybe an average. At first time, at the beginning, I think it was something revolutionary, so I'm gonna put it as the okay, because revolutionary is the step that people thought, and that was like, what the hell? Like, completely different, brutalizing people, shooting people, blood everywhere, driving cars, running people over. It was something new, different for a video game genre. And Grand Theft Auto series, they were the biggest of them all, and by that time, of course. Now, I'm putting okay, but don't quote me on this. It might not be okay game. I did not look at the reviewer scores because this is extremely opinionated list. I want you to understand this. Everything I'm showing you here is extremely my opinion. If you don't like it, well, you can tell me down in the comments. What is your list? Yeah. Now, continuing on, Bully. Did not play. I'm skipping. I know there's Bully 2 or will be coming out. I'm not too sure. I'm not interested. That's why I never played it. I know a lot of people really want to get a sequel to it, some sort, and unfortunately I did not play it, so I cannot judge it, unfortunately. Now, continue on. Max Payne 3 is the last one, and for the love of God, it was so good. This game was so good. I love this game, the feel, the controls, the slow motion. It was a bit of a storytelling, but unfortunately it was a lot more restrictive than initially it was at first that people thought. This is definitely not an okay game, maybe even a grade 2 good game I would consider. I would even put it on a great category. I do remember a lot of it. I played it on my PlayStation 3. It was so much fun, I remember. Controls were fantastic, man. What the hell happened? And after that, Max Payne 3, I think it was Grand Theft Auto 5 that came out. And yet they took some of the inspirations from Max Payne 3 into the Grand Theft Auto series, and Grand Theft Auto 5 to be more specific, with the abilities that it has with that slow motion while you're diving out the way. It was awesome. I loved it so much. Now, obviously, I'm just gonna mention right now, I did not play Max Payne 2 or 1 as well, so yeah, I might as well put Max Payne in here. And where's the other Max Payne? The Fall of Max Payne, whatever it is, I did not play it for sure. Now, continuing on, you know what? Let's make this a little more interesting. I'm gonna leave Grand Theft Auto series for last. And second last will be Red Dead, because series, yeah. And because I can tell you right up, I did not play Red Dead Revolver. I did not play Manhunt. Did not play Manhunt 2. I didn't even know they existed. Oh, I actually have seen a few of these thumbnails and images and so to say. And I think Manhunt 2 isn't relatively that old. I might be wrong, but I did not play it anyway. You can already hear it by my take on it anyway. So currently we have here is the Red Dead Redemption and the Grand Theft Auto series. Now, Red Dead Redemption, I'm gonna start out with this. This is people's favorites. I didn't even finish it. I'll be honest, I did not even finish it. I want to put it did not play, but I did play it actually. I should have probably put a category that did not finish, but you know what? I'm gonna be a little more brutal. I'm gonna be more honest, and I'm gonna put my opinion on it. Because when I made this video previously with the Tiermaker on my PlayStation 4 exclusives, I also put did not finish games, and I thought that was just not. You know, I want to be more into the games and see what I thought about it. Now I know so much of the Red Dead Redemption 1, too much. I have seen so many gameplays, footages, talks, conversations, essays, everything regarding Red Dead Redemption 1. Now I think I have more or less of a good judgment of what this game is for myself and liking. I'll be honest with you guys, cowboy types of games, they're not for me. West, you know, old West era, you know, that time, not for me either. And the biggest problem of them all, that is same consequences as well that it has from the Red Dead Redemption, is the Red Dead Redemption 2, is the gunplay. They're lacking. But everything else, by the storytelling, especially in the world, both of the games are fantastic on that part. I would argue to say that Red Dead Redemption is on my good category. I cannot give it higher because I have not. I can't say that. I cannot say that I did not play it, because I did play it, but I did not finish it. I don't want to give it a proper judgment, but this is why I'm putting it as a good category. I'm gonna get a lot of bashing for this shit. Fuck. People will be very angry with me, and I'm sorry about this. And okay, I'm just gonna leave it on good, because I'll tell you why. Because Red Dead Redemption 2 is great. I cannot give this an excellent score. You'll hear exactly why from my Grand Theft Auto series. Red Dead Redemption 2 was the killer of them all, is that the limitless, what the fuck? Anyway, the limitations of the missions, that you had an opportunity to go about your way of doing them. And this is an open world game, and oh my god, you know what pulls it down to great? Not perfect? It's the fucking online gameplay. Online is awful. Awful. Yeah, god awful. Definitely gonna go in great category. Never for perfect. No. Perfect story. Okay-ish gunplay. Or open world element. You know how what there is an open world. It is perfect, simple. But you know, so much of the game, core element of the Red Dead Redemption 2 is the gunplay. And for love of God, it's just simply okay. So there's no way it can be facing as a perfect score. No. Okay, so let's go from Grand Theft Auto to Grand Theft Auto 2. Grand Theft Auto 2, I have played a lot more. I cannot put this as a good game because I did not finish it as well. I'm gonna put it as an okay as well. I cannot definitely put this as an average. It was also, I think it was like a year or two later, and then this came out, Grand Theft Auto 2. I think it was also on the PlayStation 1, I believe so. And it was a good time to play this, man. I remember that time, Jesus, just simply driving around, like bashing enemies and stuff. It was a bit of fun as always, so to say. Now, let's continue on. I'm gonna go with Chinatown Wars. Chinatown Wars I did not play, because I didn't think it was that particularly interesting to me, but you know, whatever. I think, I can't remember exactly what was the reason mainly, but yeah. Grand Theft Auto 3, let's go with Grand Theft Auto 3, I think it's the next game up front. Grand Theft Auto 3. Now, Grand Theft Auto 3 was a good game. Grand Theft Auto 3. Wow, so much nostalgia, so much nostalgia. Just simply driving around the world, driving around the city. God, that was so good. Remember those days, guys, as well? Like, you just simply driving. Sometimes you just run people over. Sometimes you just obliterate those policemen, and then you find a tank, and then it's like the tank can never be destroyed. But then after like thousands of bullets, then it gets destroyed. I can't remember exactly too much of it, but it was so good. And I remember this specifically: the boot of the car never broke off in the Grand Theft Auto 3, so when it opens up, you know, the boot, the front of the car, it stays there, and it's like always blinding the vision when you're driving, so you couldn't really see exactly. But you know, you can always operate the camera, I think. But it was so much nostalgia. I don't know if it's a good game, but it was so much nostalgia. It was insane. Definitely in a good category for sure. Next up, I think I'm gonna go with Liberty City Stories. I think this might have been on a PSP. I can't remember. I think I'm gonna have to put it okay. I can't remember so much of it. Look, if there's not much of memory that it serves me, because I definitely do know I played it. It's the Liberty City Stories. Yeah, it's just an okay category. I cannot put it in average. I think it's just okay. Like none of these games are average or awful. Definitely not. Let's just continue. Vice City Stories, I played so much more. I loved in here that you could purchase buildings and hotels and apartments, fight off the bad guys whenever they try to invade my hotels. It was so much fun. Also on the PSP, and it was so much fun. This game, I think I have a lot more memories. I think I would put it in a category to good, but you know, Red Dead Redemption with this, no. Grand Theft Auto 3 is a nostalgia, and Grand Theft Auto 3 was the big move for the franchise. It was the whole pinnacle of it. This is why it's definitely in a good category. This is not so much, but still is a fantastic game. I remember that so much. Next up is the Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Vice City, I'm putting it here. No way, dude, no way. Vice City was so much fun. I remember playing it. I think so. Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 3 came out a couple years later. Vice City came out. My God, I love Vice City so much more than Grand Theft Auto 3. And I remember the front of the car, you know, that thing when it opens up, that one does fly off. I think there was also a tank there as well. It was so beautiful. I think it was Miami, and that based in, and was so shiny and beautiful. Giant moon, I remember that. You see, there's so much nostalgia. Oh man, it's so satisfying, the game, and was fantastic. And man, it was so good. It was so good. So much nostalgia. The story was great as well, with those giant damn phones. Ooh, with the antennas. Remember those days? Jesus, awesome game. Next up, I think it will be. Wow. Okay, well, I don't know, maybe let's go with San Andreas, because that's how, by the order, we're gonna go with San Andreas. San Andreas is people's favorite. Everybody, but not mine. I don't want to say this is a good game. Definitely not. Fuck no. This is even, could be great to perfect game. Definitely not my favorite, but it could be up to this. People will be telling me everything like this. This is a perfect game. There's so much stuff in here. It's insane. Rockstar outdone themselves with this game. This was the pinnacle of Grand Theft Auto. I personally think so. You know what? No. I'm keeping it as a perfect... I'm on the fence here, guys. I'm on the fence. I'm putting it great. I'm on the fence. I'm putting it perfect. I don't believe it's a perfect game. I don't believe it's a great game. If there could be between that, I will put it. But because I have no option for it, I have to decide one or two or the other. And people will be extremely mad if I put it on a great. People will be a lot happier with putting it perfect. Maybe I should make them all mad and put it on a great. I don't know. I can't say at this moment, but I can definitely tell you that San Andreas, I played it. It was so much fun. I didn't even finish the story, mind you, but I was having a blast just simply driving around, doing stuff, quests, and also the annihilating people, driving people out. Like once I just was even, you know, those the lights on the roads, I was even obeying to the law. Like once I was so bored and I was like, oh man, let's just drive normally. And I remember those roads as well, they're not exactly circular, but the way they do those lines across on the sides of the road, man, those yellow lines, I'm not too sure how to say it in English, but yeah, it was awesome. No, this I want to put it on a grade. I really want to put it on a grade, but the gunplay, no, it was not really much of a gunplay there. Like there was so much auto aim systems, auto aim lock on as well. I remember that they had. Oh yes, you did have an opportunity of you aiming for yourself. I can't debate, unfortunately. I'm gonna put it on a grade because I don't have like such an attachment to it like so many other people have, and so there's not much of a nostalgia. It's just like I have a good memory of it, that it was a great damn game. Not perfect, because you know, I think if there would have been also nostalgia for me for this game, San Andreas, then yes, I would have put it in a perfect, but I don't have that much. I remember I had so many problems with it with the save files, that every time whenever I tried to do something, it simply did not save, because like, you know, PlayStation 2 era, when there was like those cardboard boxes and shit. You know, the memory box is only like 8 megabytes of storage that you could do, but it required a lot more than that to save up a game, and so it was a big problem. Then I had to restart the game again and again and again and again. It was irritating. I remember that I had a lot of problems with this, unfortunately. Oh, the cheat codes were awesome as well. I remember I had to memorize a lot of them. I also had to print out some pages and putting the cheat codes. So much fun, actually. I had to, man, those cheat codes were the best as well. It made the game so much more fun for me. This is why I'm putting it as a great category. Not perfect, but a great game for me personally. Now, Grand Theft Auto 4. This is gonna piss people off. I'm putting it as my favorite because why? Let me tell you. This game is too much nostalgia. My god. Do you have any idea how many times I finished the story? 15 times. 13 times on my PlayStation 3 and twice on my PC. I even done it with the live streams and everything, and again, and I even made a review for it. On top of that, the 11 years anniversary review. Check that out, guys, for real. It was like a half an hour length, and I think I put a lot of effort into that video. Hopefully you guys will take an opportunity and a chance to take a look at it at least. Because this game, Grand Theft Auto 4, nostalgia. It was a fantastic game. Now I understand as well, people were extremely disappointed that the cars was a big problem. Felt good, fucking good, but the way they drifted and sliding across the road as if it was always icy, yeah, that kind of got annoying as well for me. But I love the way the cars had so much weight in them. It felt real. It was good. It felt good. They were quick as well in some cases. Fast cars were fast, slow cars were slow. It made sense. It was awesome. Also, people were arguing and saying that they did not like the protagonist, Nico Bellic. I personally love them because of, well, number one, I can relate to him a little bit. I love the way his storyline goes from nothing to something. Even though what makes this even better for me personally, I love the tragic story. There's two options of endings. If you guys did not know, I don't know, 11 years. Come on, it's been already 11 years. You have to already know about this. But yes, anyway, 11 years, and yet the sad endings. And no matter what you do, or whatever choices you do or go for, you're always gonna be a sad ending. Roman Bellic dies, or your love of your life dies. Like one or the other, and I mean, it was so good. It was so, man, and like, I'm not looking forward to the gameplay, I should say, Grand Theft Auto to be all like, oh, happy, yes, you know, heroes are the winners and the villains are the losers. No, fuck that. I'd rather have some kind of between the sort of cycle, if that makes sense, you know. Let the villains be the winners once in a while. I understand, like, you get to get your revenge and everything, but you still did not come out on top. You still don't feel satisfied. But this is what made me drive into the game so much more, and I loved it since ever before. It was such a fun game for me. I had so many good memories. Oh, and the online mode. God, don't get me started on that. I had so much fun using the rockets and just simply in the small island that there's a game mode. You use only rockets. That's what I did all the time. It was so difficult to level up. The stars leveling, and you need, by leveling, you pretty much need to garner up more cash. By how much cash you have, that's how you level up. I believe so. It's been a while. I could be wrong about this as well, guys. My apologies. But you didn't really do anything with that cash anyway. You always had so much of it. There was nothing to spend it on. You know, there's none of that customization. Like, the coolest thing at that game so far, that was you playing as a zombie, and that was something very interesting and very unique and new to this game that people loved and I loved. It was such a great game. Like, a lot of people did not like as well the way there were no planes, because the Liberty City is obviously not a giant place. And now this is why a lot of people were like concerned about it. It's like, you know, not so good, not so good, not so great, whatever. I don't care about the planes. It's fine. Like, if they feel good to fly, for example, and yet I'm okay with it. There were helicopters and everything like that. There were not a lot of selections of vehicles. There were not much any customization, mind you as well, guys. They were supposed to be, but unfortunately they had to, you know, scrap it. Well, whatever, I guess. God damn it. The online was so much fun to play. I remember that. I don't understand why there's no I should probably, you know what, the magic of editing, I'm gonna put the magic of editing. We kind of forgot to mention 2 more games. I don't know why did I not leave it in the list. It's the Ballad of Gay Tony and also The Lost and the Damned. So let's talk about those 2 others as well. They are pretty much a continuation from the Grand Theft Auto 4, more or less. Not a continuation, but they are part of the story. And that just, wow. You know, it just put the string right there, attach it together, and it made like all those holes filled. Like, people say it's a gray world, but did you play the Ballad of Gay Tony? You know how beautiful that place looks now? The Liberty City after that? And the updated versions of the settings and how color patterns and everything? Oh, so beautiful. And the game still looks up to phenomenal. Well, obviously there are some questionable things regarding the face animations. That did not really date well. But still, everything else felt and played fantastic. I love that. Okay, so let's talk about it. The Lost and the Damned. With the magic of editing, I'm gonna put The Lost and the Damned, Grand Theft Auto 4, The Lost and the Damned, I might you want to say. I think it was played by Johnny the Jew. That's what I referred him to him. He has a very difficult pronunciation of his second name. Plus, I actually forgot. But yeah, Johnny. We played as one of the bikers, and then we become the leader. And it was so good about that as well. I remember that basically you were the biker, and the crew was following you. You can ring up 2. Can't remember the names. Damn it! You can ring up 2 of the crews, and they can follow you. They can be more like your backup, and it was awesome. I love the way people follow you. You're the leader. It was great. I loved it. And okay. Oh shit. I don't know where to put it. Probably great or good for The Lost and the Damned. Let me decide for a second. I think I'm gonna put The Lost and the Damned as category being a great, because if I put this as my favorite, there's no way possible I could put it as a good. Yeah, I'm gonna leave The Lost and the Damned as great. Wow, people are gonna be extremely mad with the San Andreas being great. It should be perfect for a lot of people, but for me, not so much. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it as The Lost and the Damned on a great category. Now, let's move on to the Ballad of Gay Tony. That's also gonna go on great. You can see it right here. Both of them. So, great. I'm gonna put the Ballad of Gay Tony on a great category because I loved Luis Lopez. And as well, my god, those new weapons, that explosive round shotgun. AA-12, I believe it was the name of it anyway. It was fantastic. The missions and the design and everything. Yusuf, like the rich guy. It's like, I somehow lost my pants. Look, I have these nostalgias. I have these moments I still remember. You see what I mean? Nostalgia simply like overwrites all the worst part of the game. Easily. This is why I'm putting it on a great category with the San Andreas. Because I don't have this nostalgia with the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. But the Ballad of Gay Tony, The Lost and the Damned, Grand Theft Auto 4, their nostalgia is amazing. Now granted, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is older compared to these 2, well, 3 I should say, games, Grand Theft Auto 4, Grand Theft Auto The Ballad of Gay Tony, and Grand Theft Auto The Lost and the Damned. And now I understand completely, but nostalgia just kills it, for real. So yeah, great, it's in a great category, easy. Now, last but not least, I think I dragged this long enough. Grand Theft Auto 5. This is a game, it's not exactly my favorite, but it's definitely a perfect game. I don't want to say it's my favorite because Grand Theft Auto 4 is simply overwrites it. I have finished Grand Theft Auto 5 3 times, the story anyway. Twice on my PlayStation 4. Sorry, no. Wow, actually, looks like I've finished a lot more than I thought. 4 times, wow. Once on my PlayStation 3, twice on my PlayStation 4, and once on my PC. I remember that for sure. And man, it was so good. And the online, I mean, at first it was nothing special, but now the online, there's so much stuff to do, even though it's extremely expensive to buy those shark cards. It's insane, the prices. And the vehicles went up the price like a skyrocketed. It was insane. And yet, okay, the online, not so much. Online is definitely not a perfect component. I would just say a good to okay, the online of the Grand Theft Auto. And now, the single player, let's talk about single player. The driving was improved. The quality of itself was improved. The facial animations was improved. And The mission design and the storytelling was excellent, simply excellent. So many varieties of endings, insane. Loved it every moment of it. I also have a review for the Grand Theft Auto 5, guys. Highly suggest you to check it out anyway. Oh, by the way, links all down below in the description, just so you know, if you want to do so, to take a look anyway. Oh, maybe I should just put it in the comments. Yeah, maybe it will be easier for you, perhaps. Anyway, so continuing on. But there were still a lot of problems with it. One of the main concerns, and the reason is that the gunplay, the controls and how they felt was a little bit of an issue as well. Red Dead Redemption 2 is far worse because everything is based on the gunplay and controls. Horse riding, not so much nostalgic as you could be driving a race car, for example. So, you know, it's a big bump up for Grand Theft Auto 5. And controls were not as okay, but like you had auto aim as well on Grand Theft Auto. Pretty much all of them has some kind of auto aim, and that's great. I love it, and I utilize it as well. The abilities, as well as I mentioned, the slow motion for Michael. You can slow down time to make more precision aim, and with your weaponry, for example, of selections, whatnot. Trevor, for example, he's more of a brutal guy, obviously, so he takes less damage when you activate the ability, and obviously he will be dealing more damage on that front. And what's his name? Franklin. Yeah, well, he's an expert, a pro driver, more or less. Yeah, slows down time as well and makes tighter turns, more control over behind the wheel. So that's awesome. See, I love these varieties. They give an exponential sort of elements into the gameplay that people thought it was fun. Even though online does not have any of that, and I mean it's understandable why. But Grand Theft Auto Grand Theft Auto 5 single player does it very, very good, and I personally really liked it as well. Now, I think I dragged this long enough. Yeah, well, I think that's that then. Alright, well, I think we're gonna be ending it here. Tell me down in the comments what is your list. I will leave the links down below in the description if you want to put your own tier and put your own category, how you would rate these games. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. See you guys later. Have an awesome day, and yeah, have a good one. You cashed in on my